Welcome to the Evening Gamer. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Guy.
And I'm Olly.
Welcome, Oliver.
And welcome, everybody. This is a Party Up episode, and we have a special guest joining us live in the studio. And Ollie and I have been friends for a few years now, and he is a keen gamer as we are, and his taste is slightly different to yours and I's tea, which is good. We're getting a different perspective. So Ollie, as sort of a new person to the pod, first we want to know, do you enjoy listening to the podcast?
Well, to be honest, listening to the podcast has been something on the back burner of mine since its beginning. I've listened to snippets, but for you out there, listeners, I actually live with Guy. I work with Guy. So I listen to and hear Guy's voice all day, every day. So for me to come home and pop him on in my earphones, trying to relax is
a bridge too far.
That's how good Guy is at sales. Can't even get his own fucking roommate to listen to the podcast.
Well, in my mind, I just picture you lying in bed with your earphones in, listening to the pod, but clearly that's not occurring, which is fine, Ollie. I'm not upset about it at all. So Ollie, from the jump, what is the first game you've ever played?
First game I've ever played, looking back, was probably PlayStation. I got the original PlayStation bought for me Christmas, whatever year that came out. So I'm a little bit older. So the 90s we're talking now.
95,
so it would
94
have been,
maybe?
First game ever would have been Ridge Racer. I don't know.
Ridge Racer?
Any of you ever played that? It was. I think it was a PlayStation original. Back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, Ridge Racer and Rayman.
The original Rayman.
Yeah.
They were fucking so much fun.
Right.
That's a huge callback.
What's your fave game ever?
Fave game ever, probably nostalgia reasons, would be Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh, nice.
Jeez, sweet.
The N64 came out, played that to death. This is pre sort of looking up YouTube, looking up ways to do it. I had a magazine, had to go and buy the magazine from the local store.
That's right, the old EB Games guide. Do you remember buying those guidebooks?
I do remember buying those
having one
guidebooks.
for Lara Croft, because that fucking game, I think it was the second one that came out in 98.
Yeah.
Was so hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I sucked because I was 5 years old.
I remember I bought a guidebook for GTA San Andreas and I gifted it to my brother for Christmas. He'd already finished the game and I hadn't played it yet, so I just took it straight back.
What a game. But I haven't thought about the Ocarina of Time in a while. And that was the front runner in the 90s for sure. Did you play Majora's Mask?
Did you do them all?
Briefly played Majora's Mask, but it didn't have the same
thing.
It didn't have the same oomph. Because they changed the style. That was very much like Groundhog Day. I think you had 3 days to get through the whole game.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
There was
time.
Yeah,
There was
like you had 72
time
fucking
based.
hours.
I've got a recommendation for you. There's this podcast that did a whole episode on Legend of Zelda. Yeah,
Legend of Zelda.
Actually, to be fair, we should do an entire episode on the whole Zelda franchise as a whole.
I guess in more detail. But I feel like that episode we went. It was Ali
Apples
in that
of the
one.
Kingdom?
I think.
No,
Yeah.
it was Kyle. Kyle joined us for that one.
Yeah. We went through it a fair bit.
All I remember speaking about was I found some sanctuary of apple trees. Do you remember
That's right. That was the apple tree episode.
That's what
I
sparks
remember
my
that
memory
one.
about that.
And what type of games do you get drawn to?
Games that I get drawn to. So I am a big, and I know you two probably don't like these games, but I'm a big historical
Fantasy
gamer nerd. So recently a lot of the games I've been playing. So I play a lot of, I don't know if either of you have played Europa Universalis.
No.
It's like a grand strategy PC game. You're in medieval Europe. You are the leader of a kingdom. So it's top down. There's no...
Sort of Age of Empires kind of style.
Yeah, kind of, but there's no fighting as it is. It's all diplomacy.
Right, okay.
A little bit like Crusader Kings.
Yeah.
Gone through there.
Sort of what marrying off your sons and daughters to.
Yeah. Building a dynasty over centuries. The Total Wars, big fan.
Yeah.
They recently, so I used to play them back when it was like Total War Rome, you'd be the Roman Empire, Total War Empire. Then they recently, well not even recently now, a few years ago, released like a Warhammer cross with that, which was excellent. But anything sort of world building, RPG, historical, swords, wizards, that's my jam.
That's your
I
jam.
didn't know you were a PC gamer.
Not really. Nah, not really.
Do you ever
But
get
the reason I enjoyed
But you're
them,
not anymore. Like I think
No.
You're on the Xbox now.
Yeah.
I think,
On Xbox now.
Xbox, baby. You still have yours?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I switch it up all the
You've
time.
got the better version of mine, hey? I've got the
I
XS.
got the Series X, yeah. It does, so your sort of vibe of games does flow in nicely to the game that you are reviewing today and why we've gotten you on the pod, which is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is a fairly recent drop of only about a month or so ago.
Yep.
But before we do rip into it, and we're very keen to get your scores and hear your entire review of it.
Plug it through the system.
We were going to just touch on what we chatted about last episode, which was sort of talking about split fiction, which I'm sure everybody's seeing on their social media almost at nauseum. Everybody's raving about it. I'm probably about halfway through with the missus playing it.
I downloaded it on the weekend.
Great. And I'm sure MJ will enjoy it. That's her style.
And I was actually happy about the price.
Yeah, it wasn't like $100 thingy. It was
No.
60, 70 or something like that, AUD. But so we were talking about gender representation in games, and the director's recently come out and kind of responded to what people were saying online, which was, this is sort of
What was the term they used? Pushing the feminist agenda?
Yeah,
it was something like quite intense like that.
Yeah.
It's like, calm down.
His response was fantastic. And he was pretty like colourful with it. It was basically like, shut the fuck up. It was like
In not as many words.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't give a shit what's between your legs. All I care about is good characters, and that's what's important. And he then ran through his previous games, and it was It Takes Two was obviously a guy and a girl. A Way Out before that was two guys, and then Brothers was two guys. So I don't think he's pushing any type of agenda here. And he did say he'd base those characters off his daughters. So it's like you hear from that, and you just basically go, all right, it's a nothing burger. Like,
that's wholesome, eh? Like, I sometimes feel like we take it, I don't want to say too far, but I was listening to something the other week that was whenever something is done from like a female perspective, it's always criticised a little bit more harshly.
I think you're right, than
the other side of the fence.
I
Is
mean,
that how fickle masculinity is these days? You can't actually play a game with two female protagonists. Like seriously?
I mean, it's there was something else I saw, which was Anthony Mackie, who was recently in Captain America, was talking about how he's been raising his sons with a very sort of male kind of thing of going, be respectful for women, treat your mum right, get up when people enter the room, open a door for a person. And he got criticized of being like, you're trying to embed masculinity in people. And you're like, come on, guys. Like, is it really that bad to sort of build politeness in a child? Like, it was a weird blowback.
Yeah. I got called something today that was weird, and I wonder if you guys have ever called this. Someone asked me like what I was doing tonight.
Yeah.
I couldn't really, I had nowhere else to go. I was like, it was at work. I was like, I do this gaming podcast thing. And she goes, you're a closet gamer. And I was like, what the fuck is a closet gamer? She's like, someone that's like a gamer. But and I was like, okay, I thought you always
said
think
else.
it's going somewhere it's not.
Well, I just thought you said I'm a closet gay person. I didn't hear the gamer part.
No, not at all.
This is like our opening song all
But
over
it was
again.
the first time I'd heard it, and I was like, nah, not at all. Like, actually, when I'm asked about my hobbies, gaming's up there with the top 3.
Yeah, fair. I mean, like a closet gamer. I mean, what's a non-closet gamer?
Well,
what, you want me to
exactly,
wear
like
like a long cloak and, receding hairline? What's the telltale signs?
Is everyday Gamecom? Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking, that was crazy.
You want me to wear like a Pikachu pin or something like that?
So I don't know. I might be compromised in the workplace. There might be people searching my name and gaming pod. We'll find out.
Yeah, you find out. I mean, thankfully,
I've always
hopefully.
said, lately, my biggest fear is I walk into a meeting room on Monday morning and it's fucking up on the big screen. So I'm just waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, at my workplace, Milky Pockets has done it a couple of times, and sort of the team hear my voice sort of booming out, talking about this stuff.
But yeah, bottom line is, if it's two female protagonists, we got sidetracked there, but if it's two female protagonists, like, just relax.
Yeah,
Enjoy
who
the
cares?
game.
Who cares? Whatever. So anyway, let's rip into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So just to give sort of the preamble of this, so it was developed by Warhorse Studios, who are based out of the Czech Republic. It was released back in early February. Open world RPG, first person. Over 2 million copies sold. By and large, the reviews were very glowing and sort of an advance on the first one. So going into our pillars.
Just before we hit storyline.
Yeah.
What draws you to medieval games? Because gaming, mate, is heading... Granted, Assassin's Creed's come out, which really goes back, but gaming as a whole is heading futuristic. Like, look at Split, mate. Look at Split Fiction.
Well, Split
There's
Fiction's
like an
half and
animus-
half. There's
he gives me
sci-fi and then
weird
there's
looks
fantasy.
When I'm trying to make a good fucking point.
Well, yeah, when I'm sort of, it's a debatable point. Split Fiction has two timelines. There's a sci-fi element and a fantasy element.
Oh, okay.
So I hear what you're saying,
yeah.
but I just think it's like movies. They go through phases where it's like that time of the period is like war movies, and then you end up with sort of, I don't know, like sci-fi getting the whole
That's fair.
period of time. Or
But I feel like you navigating towards medieval games has been an active choice.
Yeah.
What do you think that comes down
I would
to?
say, I don't know. I think maybe it's just the relatability. Like, I
Being
think it's
British.
probably being British.
Your
Like
history.
the history. It is the history side of it. And as I'll touch on with Kingdom Come Deliverance and sort of the world they've built, is a lot of it is based on historical places, especially some of the locations. And I think I've just always been a bit of a history nerd. And in England growing up, schooling, it's all medieval, Henry VIII.
Yeah, I was going to say. Because
So
the protagonist in this is English. That was a thick English accent I heard in that
yeah,
trailer.
it was. I was surprised by that.
He's an English actor who voices the characters as they all are, but it's actually set Hungary. So it's Czech Republic, Bohemia.
wow. Okay. There
Yeah,
you go.
that's right. Which I believe the studio Warhorse are from.
Yeah, well, I think it was Czech Republic.
Czech Republic,
sort of
yeah. So it's
in
all
that
like
neck of the woods.
Eastern
though.
Europe, medieval times. Yeah. Kuttenberg, the main city. Yeah.
What was
nice.
that?
Kuttenberg?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably
Is
I might
it
be
what's the
pronouncing
modern
that wrong.
day equivalent, or is it still bopping around?
Kuttenberg, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Don't quote me on that though.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Anywho, so is there anything you want to start off with, sort of your opening intro on, or do you want to just rip in the storyline world building?
Opening intro. I think, not a hot take, but we discussed this, guy. I think this will definitely be up there for Game of the Year.
Okay.
I know it's a hot take.
Like
Early in the year,
2025 game.
2025.
Did it end up coming out in 2024?
No, I think
no, it was delayed into 2025.
Fucking delays,
so,
bro.
yeah, here we go.
Delayed.
Add
again.
it to the list.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
2025 game of the year. That's
I know there's some big games coming out this year, but honestly, I would advise both of you to play this through. Have either of you played the first one?
Haven't played the first one, but we were watching the trailer for this, and the storyline looked pretty good. It looked
Yeah.
pretty
It gives
juicy.
me like the Witcher kind of vibes, like that kind of, obviously not the way it plays, but just that kind of world without the fantasy kind of elements to it. I don't know. I was just
mostly
feeling
wilderness,
it a bit.
mostly
Yeah,
kind of between areas.
Yeah, except The Witcher has the big monsters and
Well,
the
yeah,
magic.
well, yeah,
right?
and a bit
So
magic,
it's
I was gonna say.
yeah, slide
yeah.
by that. So slip by that one.
Tenuous link at best.
So talk to us about the storyline. Like, did it engage you? What were your first impressions? What did you like about it without any major spoilers?
Yeah, without any major spoilers. Yeah, so I knew it was coming out. I first picked up the first one on Game Pass, I think. So a couple of years
nice.
after it was released, the original. Enjoyed it, but only sort of played a few hours because it's a pretty steep learning curve before you get into it, I would say.
Okay.
The intro on the first one, the intro on the second one is quite heavy and quite slow, which at the time I suppose maybe didn't have enough time to play it. But anyway, I came back to it knowing this was going to come out, replayed the first one and fell in love with it on a much bigger scale. It's, without giving any spoilers, it's just a very rich world that they have created.
Yeah, nice.
Like all open RPGs, I suppose it's very much a case of the world in which they've created is one that you want to go out exploring.
Yeah, okay. It kind of drives you to go and find.
Yeah, it really does drive you. You're dropped into into medieval Bohemia. You are a farm boy who has no skills or any intelligence or any real ability of any kind to survive in this world, which was a little bit different from any RPG I've played before, such as I suppose an example is the inability to read a book. You can't read straight away. You can't do anything.
In the game?
In the game, you can't read. You've got to learn to read.
So you got to read up like a book or a text. It's like you can't fucking read yet.
Yeah, you open the book and it's all just gobbledygook, just random characters, and you have to go to a scribe. And
I love
I'll touch
that.
on it. It's part of the leveling up system, but you have to level up your reading, which is pretty wild. Like that was more of the first one. The second one skips over a bit of that.
Is there like mini games to learn the reading? Like,
There's mini games.
Really?
I would say a large part of this game is mini games. You could blast through the main story I think I've read so you could blast through it in maybe 40 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
If you just stick to the main line, which would be fine. It'd be an enjoyable game.
I don't know why. I'm just like picturing like the mini game being, you know, a kid reading a color book or something like the brown cow.
Just you trying to read. Your mum comes in, you're like, you can't fucking read. What are you doing?
It's
your mum comes in and going like, oh, it's finally you're learning comprehension. Like a 30-year-old man, fantastic.
Nah, but it's one of those games where I'll touch on it later. But with the mini games, one of the mini games is blacksmithing. So you go to the blacksmith, and if you want to level up your blacksmithing to create better weapons, swords, axes, you have to blacksmith. And it's not a sort of press X to do this, press Y to do that. You have to go and get the materials you need, take them to the blacksmith. You have to take a piece of metal out of the bucket, put it on the fire, heat it up to a certain level of heat. You can overheat it, ruin the weapon, underheat it.
So it's like a little side mission almost.
Side mission.
Yeah,
you
right.
have to transfer it to an anvil, hit it, spark it. You can create it. If you didn't do the proper steps, proper times, it's low quality, it's mid quality, it's high quality.
my
All to
word.
get your blacksmithing up. Yeah.
So you're a farm boy. You're a peasant essentially. You can't read.
You are a peasant. You are. So it's a direct sequel to the first one. So at the end of the first game, you, without spoiling anything, you're on a horse riding out of the original map. Second game picks up where you are on the same horse, riding into the new map. So there's an exact crossover.
I actually like that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and that sort of begged me the question. I was like, well, you know, first game you've skilled up, you've maxed out. How are they going to move into the second game with all that being reset? I was intrigued to know how that was going to happen.
Yeah, nice.
They do it very well.
Nothing annoys me more than, you know, when you watch your favourite show and there's a cliffhanger at the end of one season?
Yeah.
They say season 1 ends, cliffhanger, it's amazing. You're like, cannot fucking wait till season 2 comes out. And then season 2, first scene is not where they left it.
Yeah.
It's like some side story and you're like, okay, well, what is this, man? Like,
where are we going? It's
I
like
just
a
love
filler
straight into it. Exactly where we stopped.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that.
So do they, with the start of the second one, and I don't know, you know, obviously it might ruin this a little bit, do you end up sort of getting knocked out, you know, in a concussion, and that's why you don't remember certain things?
Yeah,
or?
Pretty much. There's sort of there's quite a big intro, a good few hours. And essentially, yes, there is a point in the game where you are knocked out, robbed, injured, and then that sort of resets your skills, not to a base level from the first game where you don't know anything, but you've essentially got to relearn.
So if you've like got reading covered off in the first game, you know, do you need to relearn reading in the second one?
Yeah, there's books you can't read. You're not rock bottom again, but there are certain books you can. So it's like skill books. Like there's books you want to pick up to increase skills, which you don't have to do. You may not have to read any of them. You can organically like level up, but it is, I wouldn't say a grind, but you know, you have to blacksmith. Like there's many a time when I found myself blacksmithing, creating horseshoes for 4 hours in the blacksmith.
You know.
And I had to
I'm pretty sure I could hear you.
I
could just hear like the hammer of an anvil. Like, I was like, what's he doing down there?
A sword that has,
It's fucking low quality again.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
That's it.
Just breaks first strike.
Yeah,
dead. Game over.
But the mini games, they're not as tedious as I found them in other games. You blacksmith. There's only a few you can be a blacksmith. You create potions. So you have to do the potions. You have to pick the herbs. You have to, if they're fresh, you make a better potion. If you dry them, it's like a lower tier
it's like
one.
Subnautica.
You have to
kind of.
things
It's almost like
expire.
survival.
Put them in
Yeah, I
a
kinda like
cauldron, boil them, mix them.
I kind of like it's sounding like, okay, so you make a shit potion, you run out of the resources for it, you make a shit weapon, and then you got to go into a camp and kill some dudes. You get pied, I imagine, much easier in a situation like that.
Yeah.
I feel like this is very challenging entertainment. I'm keen to hear what happens about the storyline after you leave this farm.
Sidetracked. So, medieval Bohemia. Storyline, you are, in essence, Henry. Follows straight on from the first game. Blacksmith's son, parents murdered. The whole first story is sort of trying to avenge them, learning all these skills, moving through the game. The second one, essentially without ruining the first one, you are still searching for your parents' killers.
Okay.
Basically.
So we're still rife with wanting to
Revenge
and avenge.
It is a revenge and avenge story. You can do that in multiple ways, but the world building itself is just incredibly dynamic and.
Is it full? Because
Very
sometimes with
detailed,
RPGs,
yeah.
they're empty. Like I found with Ghost of Tsushima, it was fucking empty. I found like that
Sometimes,
really
yeah.
empty.
Oh, it's full. You can wander around, and again, without spoiling it, but the first game, when you're introduced to the second game, the map you're on is about the same size as the first one. And you
Okay.
play through a significant part of the game not knowing, and I presume this was just it. This was the full map. But then sort of 30% of the way through the game, you move on to a second map, which is 3 times the size.
Jesus.
And it's
Wow.
it's just extensive. You can run around. You can basically just walk through villages. There's streams. There's caves. There's cities. There's towns. There's farmhouses. Fishing spots. Hunting spots. Deer spots. Boar spots.
Oh, so
It
like
is massive.
like a Red Dead Redemption 2
Yeah.
hunting
Yeah.
element to it as well.
Yeah, there is a lot of that. Again, you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to, but you can just get lost in it, upskilling your bow and arrow.
So
Oh, yeah.
overall, there's a lot to do outside of main story. So you reckon main
Yeah,
story took
loads.
40 hours, you reckon?
I would say if you streamlined it, yeah, you probably do it in 4 hours. But I think the beauty of the game is the side quests. Like a lot of these RPGs,
Yeah.
the side quests are done well. You get a lot more out of the game,
And
and
are the rewards for side quests good?
good and bad.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
we've spoken about this, particularly with Zelda. You did you play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? No. But like you do you find like
Yeah.
a cave, you beat a boss and you get like a fucking $5 rupee and you're like,
Yeah, yeah,
bro,
yeah.
what?
That wasn't worth the return on investment.
No.
So I feel like world building, it's sounding full and lots of things to do in it. Talking to the storyline, were there twists, were there turns? Were you satisfied with the ending? Was the pacing of the story good? Grady's favorite thing?
Pacing great, storyline great. The voice acting is probably one of the best of the games I've played. It's funny. You have different choices you can make, different choices that if you piss the wrong person off at the beginning of the game, it could lock you out of a side quest 60 hours on because this person doesn't want to speak to
Wow.
you. If you
So consequences.
Oh yeah, and there's a whole reputation system as well. So, and that's reputation from village to village. So if you have a bad reputation in this village, you knock someone out, steal their stuff, run away. 10 hours later, you come back. Guard will arrest you. Not happy with you. You can, for example, pay a fine. Great. If you haven't got enough money, they will put you in the stocks. No problem.
You're selling this to me.
Another indiscretion, they'll brand you on your neck. So you get like a robber's brand.
Just for knocking some guy out.
Oh yeah, stealing an apple. They don't like it. You get branded, then traders' prices will double, treble for you, or they just won't speak to you until the brand is gone. If you get caught again, robbing carrots, Grolshan, the current in-game currency, they'll lock you up and catch you and execute you. Game over, done. So it's
Fucking hell, game over.
you can reload.
Scum save,
If you're doing a
Imagine if it was a
hardcore,
rogue.
you can do a hardcore run, and then
Imagine getting 80% of the way through a game and then it's roguelike and it's game over because you stole a carrot.
Oof.
Those peasants,
What a
man.
reset.
those peasants,
These resources are important.
You got to watch out, and it all has consequences. Like, towards the end, a lot of the choices you make throughout the game, good or bad, have a direct impact on the ending.
Nice.
So there's multiple different endings that you can have on it.
I
So
see
there's
that kind of as the future of like the
multiple endings?
Well, not the multiple endings, but the NPC having their own journey in the game. That if you kill them in an Act 1, they're not there in an Act 3.
But you'd never know.
because that's kind of like the Baldur's Gate 3 thing of
Yeah,
going
very
that
similar.
laying the seeds early and the character having an impact on what occurs then triggers a different conclusion.
Yeah.
I think that to me is S tier
And
level gaming.
You're seeing it so much more, and that's a Souls-like feature.
Yeah.
That is a Souls-like feature where you interact with an NPC, and then they go kind of send you out into the world, and then you randomly run into them at another spot, and you pick up the dialogue again.
Yeah.
And it's like the pace of those other side missions that you don't actually have to go to a particular location, tick off a checklist. Like this NPC kind of walks the story with you. Fucking love it, mate. Like it's huge commitment to the storyline as a whole.
I feel like it's building on like what maybe Skyrim kind of started off with, sort of the leveling up your different skill sets, and how you could interact with an NPC, attack them, and then they'd come after you and these kind of things. Because, everybody's made the comparison with Avowed that it's like super simplified that, like you can swipe at an NPC and they just don't even react. They don't even flinch. range, and it's like that's so watered down compared to what this sounds like.
And I've always said this, less is more. People actually like complicated. Like one of the things that I'll never stop talking about it, but Elden Ring, one of the things that draws me to it is the complexity of minor details. And it's because they do fewer of them, but so fucking well. It's like there's 5 alternate endings, but they're all rather complex in terms of carrying them from the start to the end. And that achievement-based gaming is where everything's going at the minute. So
yeah, and minor
fan.
details. Just to touch on one with this game is one that just made me laugh. So there is like a smelly system within the game. So because you're in medieval Europe, you can get a bit stinky. If you run around, you don't wash, you haven't had a bath
in like
for
6
a while.
months, yeah.
Yep, you're a smelly boy. You get a little icon, you get a little debuff. But what it doesn't tell you is if there's sneaking, thievery, lockpicking is a big part of the game. If you are smelly, when you try and sneak up on someone, they will often smell you. They will leave it. They won't even see you. They'll just leave a comment as they're walking past you. The guard will be like, "Oh, what is that fucking stink?" And then it makes you a little bit embarrassed. And you'll go and wash yourselves and wash your clothes and launder them and pay money just so you're presentable. So it affects your charisma and trading again. If you're smelly, you got blood all over you because you just killed someone. People don't want to barter with you. It's those little details are done extremely well in this game. Yeah.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
Huge.
So were you rolling up in this game with a brand on your neck, stinking like shit? Like, how did you play this?
I always play it bad. I always play it bad.
Do you always play it bad?
Yeah, because if you don't play it bad, I feel like part of it is I want to sneak up behind someone, knock them out and rob them. And that's the beauty of this game. There's no... You can do that to everybody.
Yeah.
Every building that is in the game you can go into. You can break into if your lockpicking skill's high enough. Yeah. You can rob vendors. You can wait until the middle of the night. You can pop some poison in their
brandy
stew
or whatever.
Really meticulous.
Yeah. They can get ill. You break in. You rob them.
The debauchery.
Steal all their stuff. You can't sell it back to them. So if you say you rob from the main city, you could go off and sell it to a fence, one of the millers. Yeah. But if you say you forget and then 4 or 5 hours later you've done some of the missions, you come back to the city and you walk past that shop that you robbed in a piece of gear that you nicked, they'll recognize you.
Get out of town.
Call the guards. Guards will come over. You get arrested.
That's so good.
Yeah, so you got to remember, like it's just very, very well. Just very well thought out, honestly.
That's clever.
Job.
That's
clever.
So
clever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of is there other games that have kind of gone this deep, this meticulous, this intelligent with a game? And I'm struggling. I'm coming up stumps with it.
Not this deep. And I feel like gamers are going to need to be adaptable because they're challenges that we're not overly used to.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm certainly not used to a challenge where I'm
Who's remembering where you nicked your jacket from, in a game for the risk of going back to town?
If it's your inventory, and be like, what the fuck?
But it's I guess when you're gaming, you never really needed to think about it. Like,
is that the chainmail that disappeared?
That's real familiar. I have it a million bloody thingies to put that chain link armor together. I know my work.
Maria, that peasant boy is back and he's looking a lot more rich.
He's just poured something in your drink again.
I love that. We kind of covered off storyline and challenge and entertainment there, I reckon, because that is highly entertaining and that's rather challenging.
So talk to us about the feel and mechanics, because a lot of people said that the combat in the first one was difficult, and the directional controls to defend and parry and then swipe.
And actually, as a segue into this, in terms of challenge and entertainment, and it's a medieval game, and it's accurate, so there's not dragons and fucking unicorns. Are there mini bosses in each stage, or what's that look like?
No, not mini bosses. I think, mini bosses themselves, I wouldn't say it's the detriment of the game, but it is a little bit, because it is so realistic. The only real way that opponents get harder is if they have better armor, better sword skills. They're richer. It's a very steep learning curve. It kind of ties in with the combat as well. Combat in the first game was very tough. It's not a game that you can just pick up and swing your sword.
You can't spam.
The Witcher, you cannot spam. You have to, in essence, learn to sword fight, which is not easy.
Is it an easy death game? I can imagine if it is. Really
One
accurate.
swipe dead.
Yeah, right.
You get hit in the neck with a sword.
This is ticking a lot of my boxes.
Mate,
I may go home and download this.
I think it's worthwhile, especially if the first one's on Game Pass. I played that first one for maybe what was about 20, 30 minutes. And I remember you had to fight the local drunkard or something that.
Yeah. Fist fight and throw poo at his house.
You're supposed to lose. You're supposed to lose.
Yeah, but you can beat
him. And I beat him. I was
Yeah.
quite pleased with myself. And it was the first attempt as well. It was like...
It sounds like one of those systems where it's like, actually, if you take your time and pick your shots, you
have
get
to.
through it okay.
Yeah,
if you don't, you're going to get frustrated.
Yeah, like you can start the game and you can go into it, and 1-on-1 you can learn the mechanics, do pretty well, fight. But 2-on-1 you're dead. You're dead.
I like that. I like the commitment to the accuracy and the realism.
Yeah, like bow and arrow, for example. Bow and arrow and crossbow. There's no reticle, so there's no crosshair that you can.
You've
fire
seen
from.
people drawing like a crosshair
on the first one.
Yeah.
You gotta just sort of, and when you first hold a bow, if your agility's too low, you can't shoot it.
Okay.
Then you can shoot it, but you shake like a shitty dog because you cannot. And it's a steep learning curve, yeah. But it's very worthwhile once you get good.
Satisfying.
And you're parrying, slicing, dicing. Yeah,
That's
it is
so
very
bizarre.
satisfying.
So what did you play as? Do you have a shield and a sword? Was there one preferred martial
So you can go,
style?
you can go the usual. You can go two-handed longsword. You can go one-handed sword and shield. You can go axe, crossbow, normal bow.
So like ranged, heavy and light kind of.
Yeah, it is geared up for a sword though. A lot of mechanics when you play it, the combos. There's a system called a master strike, which is like it's a master strike and a riposte. It's like a counter basically.
Right.
You have to time really well. It is geared up for the sword. But the leveling up system, like there's buffs. If you want to be a heavy weapons player, you can concentrate your skills into heavy weapons. You can concentrate into that.
And how'd you find the first person? Because this is where the question mark is for me.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if it's my brain or my preference, but when I step into an RPG, particularly
prefer
open
third-
world,
see the character?
I do prefer a 360 view.
Yeah.
So
I think that's on the realism side, the way they've done that.
kind of like all or nothing kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. And you can be an agile player. You can go light armor, be fast, have a lot of stamina, fight that way. Or you can go heavy plate armor, the whole shebang, helmet over your face. You have an ability to put your visor up or down. So when you fight and you put your visor down, you've just got a little slit you can see through.
That's crazy. And that's so crazy. And does heavy... Does that translate to slower movements, or is there like an endurance bar?
There's an endurance bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's both.
Slow and heavy, more damage, less damage,
And
quick
use
and nippy.
more endurance like per swipe as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
One
same
thing I'm
with-
curious on is, so like you go into a little encampment and you take on, maybe there's 3 guys there and you sort of work your way through, I don't know, maybe you take out one of them, the other 2 then jump on you. And you're wheeling back and going past is another crew. Does that happen? Are they likely to get involved? Because I know a lot of games often will keep things quite zone heavy, that it's like you seldom roll into other areas and then the fight becomes more larger.
Yeah, it's like the other NPCs and enemies that don't have realistic line of sight. It's like if you cross over their threshold within the boundary. Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, I think the NPCs and the AI is one of the best I've ever seen played. Yes, it all has crossover. Anyone sees you committing any crime, anything, they'll report it to the guards, or they'll try and fight you, or they'll go and tell their friends, and their friends will come and have a pop at you. You can run away, you can sneak away, but they'll remember your face if you pop back in that city.
Oh my God.
You can encroach on enemy camps. It's a big part of the game. They're sort of randomly generated encounters, as it were.
Nice.
You can sneak into a camp. There's just various ways you can do it. You go in at night. You can poison the food, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
They'll eat the food, they'll get sick, brings their health bar down, or they'll just die in
Lovely.
the camp.
So a strong commitment to realism. I like it.
Incredibly
like it,
strong
yeah.
commitment to realism, yeah.
So next is character dev and build. So you've touched on the build, and there's multiple sort of. Is there a level up skill and a sort of progression that you've got to go through? I mean, I think you said that with the various.
Yeah, I think we went over
ironwork
skills and
the
like
bit,
little
those
side
kind of
missions.
things.
It's more side mission based than it is experience from the sounds of things.
Yeah, there is experiential skills. Pretty simple. The more you do something, the better you get at it. And then from those skill trees, so you'd have.
But it's one of those systems where you have to do the task to then get better at it, not an overarching experience bar where you go, right, you're level 9 now and your 9 points
you can allocate the points. No,
it's like GTA when you'd run from the cops for like 5 minutes and your endurance would go up.
Yeah, that GTA San Andreas, you got to go into the gym and pump iron.
So you have to, if you want to build up your blacksmithing to get the best sword in the game and craft the best sword, you have to work for it. You have to work. You have to put your apron on, put your little hat on, and you have to get to it.
That comes back to actually psychology and achievement based. It's called variable interval. It's like some people are really rewarded by not knowing when they get a reward.
Right.
So it's like the San Andreas thing. It's like you'd run for a while and then my endurance went up. It's like this variable interval reward based
system. You can see the sort of the experience. So you do have an idea of how much you have to do of a certain task to achieve a level up. And you level up and you get a point, and then sort of every 4 or 5 levels in that specific skill, you get a perk that you can use, which will be, what's a good example? Like sword fighting. If you tend to use a one-handed sword, level it up, and then you can get a bonus for fighting with a sword in one hand, no shield in the other. You'll get a bonus of 10% more damage or something like that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, but the fact that you start off as useless is just great. You can take it so many different ways.
Sounds like it.
You really can.
And also, you don't want a game where you start and you feel like you could take on the final area. Like, that's not fun.
That's annoying. That is very annoying.
And that's often the problem I have with NG, like New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Is like the replayability. It's like in the second run through, it's like, I could just fucking go to the end area and just finish this.
The one downside I was with the skill trees and says you can master it, and you can get, like, I got so good that I did get a little bit OP.
Interesting.
Where I just knew all the combos. I knew how to beat people. Like, you can still die at any point. Arrow to the neck. See you later. But you can get pretty strong. Have the best weapon. Have the best armor. Not cheese it. Like, there are some difficult fights, but there's a stage where you can take on 15 people and just.
But I like that because we've
Yeah.
always said time in games should translate to power.
Better at it.
Yeah.
So I feel like extras is somewhat the side quests, and loot. You kind of touched on that. Is there the element of like you do go down find a cave system maybe, and then within that you find a X tier, S tier sort of sword or shield or something?
There is, but the loot system is. I think the loot system is really good. I think it's all really good. I love the game, but the loot system is really good. There's no sort of special super dragon sword that's on fire or anything like that.
Yeah, fair.
It's literally just there's each weapon. The better the weapon, the higher the stats it has. But you could find 4 of the best weapon basically, or blacksmith it yourself. You can. I keep coming back to blacksmithing. You can get really good at blacksmithing.
You spend a lot of time
blacksmithing.
I heard it.
Yeah,
just get home from work. Right. Don't really want to play, but I'll blacksmith for a while.
I'll smash that anvil a couple of times.
You get so good that you can essentially blacksmith something into like 1 of 5 levels. But then if you master it and perk it up, you get what's called a Martin level. Your dad was called Martin. He got murdered. He was a blacksmith.
Right.
And that's when you get it as good as it can be, and it kind of dominates everything else.
Fair.
But the loot system in general, I'd say it's pretty similar to a lot of other things. There's food, weapons, armor, miscellaneous, potions, books, those sorts of things. You do have to maintain everything. So if you get in a big sword fight, sword goes rusty, you got to go sharpen it up on that sharpening wheel.
And do you get sort of overweight if you're carrying too much junk?
Real quick.
Right.
If you're carrying a lot of heavy armor around,
do you have a storage unit or?
Yeah, so you got a storage unit bed. You got to sleep. That's another thing. If you don't sleep, you get snoozy. And your stamina goes down. If you get drunk, you are drunk,
you have a hangover.
So it has cons.
Oh my goodness.
Has cons. So your stamina won't be as good, but it also has pros. So there's perks of being drunk. Like you can take more damage.
Charisma goes up or something.
Charisma goes up.
Of course.
You can woo the ladies a little bit more.
My anxiety is increasing listening to this game, but I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But
it's sounding positive. So, okay, well, before we get to the numbers, we calculate, we do averages, what are some negatives? So did you come out of this going that here is a couple of things that if they'd done this, it would have been X? Yeah,
negatives. I do think the fact that you can just get really good at the game by learning the game. Learning the different combos, learn how enemies move. If he's going to do this move, swipe from this side, I can just learn to counter it kind of with whatever weapon I've got. The realism that they've added into it makes it an amazing game. For example, you can go in every house, but that does also allow you to once you get to a certain point, you can just, the blacksmith's there, I'll give him a little bit of poison, I'll get my lockpicking really good, or sorry, the armourer, and then I'll go in, rob all his stuff, go to another city, make a ton of money. Yeah. And I did find pretty quickly you have the best armour. Right. Especially armor. I don't think there's enough variety with the different types of armor you can have. I'd say probably halfway through the game, I got the best armor,
and that was it.
And then there's no real incentive for me to keep going after these items. Yes, but main storyline fantastic, side quest fantastic. I'll definitely play again, rerun it.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
I feel like I missed a lot.
That's always good signs.
That is a great sign.
Yeah.
So the only last question I got before we get to the final numbers is, and this is one that, with me playing Avowed at the moment, I'm certainly finding I am waiting for it to finish. I'm vying to me to get to the final level to get out of it. No. So you enjoyed it every minute of the way.
Any DLC they drop, but play that immediately. You could spend hundreds of hours in this game. You just roam around.
How long did you end up spending?
Not that long. I didn't get bored of it, but it was a stage where near the end, every main mission is like 2 hours long. It's very storyline based. There's a lot of talking. If you're someone who just wants to go action, some of it you probably will find a bit heavy.
Drag a bit.
Some of the missions, the running around. There's a mission where a king comes and you have to spy on him, so you just have to pretend to be a waiter and serve him wine for like 45 minutes. Listening to him and not mess up, but drop the wine and puts you in the stocks, kills you.
Oh, goodness.
And I suppose one final thing, the save function is very interesting on this game. You can't just save whenever you want. So you can't just press start, press save before a big battle. Yeah. You have to have a specific potion that you can make called Savior Schnapps. Makes you a little bit drunk when you drink it. You can, if you spam it, probably create a lot of these, but it does add that little bit of, if I'm running around, there's a dangerous situation there.
Kind of makes you second guess what you're doing.
It does. It makes you think there's an enemy in camp. You can't just run in, charge, die, go again. If you die, die. You have to think, okay, I don't want to go back an hour and a half and replay all this. Am I actually going to have a go at these guys?
Do I need to go get this potion?
Roguelite. A little bit.
Sort of, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Like you sleep at night, that automatically saves it.
I mean, there's autonomy there.
I mean, are you able to drink the potion mid-fight?
No.
Okay.
No,
can you imagine that you just
I love the idea of that. There's an arrow flying towards you and you just take a switch. But like, you can't heal up mid-fight? Like there's no
You can heal up slowly mid-fight. So take a potion. There's no like insta-heal. You can drink a potion, a marigold decoction, which you may have made yourself, but that will like slowly bring you back to full health. But a lot of it, 2 swipes of the sword, you're dead. You miss time a block, see you later.
You're out. All right.
Jeez.
Okay. T, do you want to kick us through the pillars?
Do the numbers, boys. Storyline out of 10.
Storyline out of 10, I gave it a 9.3.
9.3. That's decent.
Strong.
Phenomenal storyline.
Phenomenal. What made it so good?
Just the way, honestly, what they've linked in between the first and the second game. The voice acting is second to none. It's funny. Just keeps you engaged the whole way through.
Yeah, nice. Feel mechanics out of 10.
I've given this an 8.6.
8.6.
Slightly lower.
Didn't like something about the combat, janky. The skills.
The combat it can be a little bit janky, I would say. Yes, some of the way the enemies will die maybe doesn't feel as natural as it should. Still a high score.
Fair. Challenge and entertainment out of 10. They're all out of 10, by the way. It's the last time I'm going to say that.
8.5 challenge and entertainment. Basically, just because, as hard as the upskill is at the beginning, you do get to a point where you feel like you've mastered it. You plateau.
Bit of a plateau. Okay. Character dev and build.
This one's a high one, 9.5.
That's fair.
That is fair.
It is the best part of the game.
There was that tidbit about the build. You kind of maybe get the armor midway through, which is maxed out. But the character development, I feel like, is definitely there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't fucking read at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. What was the name of the protagonist?
Henry of Scallis.
So Henry at the start of it, he's riding off into the foothills and and then
end of the first game.
Yeah,
Then
and
second
then
game you ride in. You still, for all intents and purposes, you've maxed out the first game. So second game you ride in as a knight in shining armor.
And by the end of that game, he's learnt something. He's developed. He's possibly avenged his parents without giving it away. But he's a different man from the first.
He's a different man. Yeah, he's a different man. Still a poor farmhand, basically. Not seen as by every other character as a shining knight, because he'll never be a noble. Sign of the times.
Right.
But yeah, he's earned his stripes. He's a warrior.
Fair. Okay. All right.
Loot and extras.
This is a 9. I feel like the loot and extras, they are really, really good, but because of the game being the game and being realistic, there's always going to be an element of picking up carrots and onions.
Yeah.
I almost feel like, maybe challenging the 9 a little bit, purely on the basis of you saying like you keep finding the same weapons. Sometimes you have the same ones, and then you get to a point where you've got max good gear, and the kind of that plateaus as well by the sounds of it, and like
it does. But the challenge at the beginning is a steep challenge.
Okay,
like you have to persist with a lot of things for a long time,
and it does sound like there's variety. There's a lot of variety.
Oh, there's variety.
Okay.
Yeah, you can play in a lot of different ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you want to hear the final number?
Hit us with it. Yeah. How do we go?
8.98.
That's pretty high. How does that compare to your other games, fellas?
It's pretty high. It beats Ghost of Tsushima, Sekiro, Remnant 2, Returnal, which are some big labels that we've done, and comes just under Outer Wilds, which was a 9.04. So it comes in at...
Wow.
It knocks Returnal out of 8th and sits firmly in the top 8.
That is a strong score, my friend. Very strong score.
I don't think we've reviewed a game that's been over 8.5 in some time.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. We've been doing some sort of lower rung ones. So what are you going to play next?
Great question. I don't know.
Assassin's Creed came out yesterday.
I'm a little bit
put
off from the Assassin's Creed. Because I'm the older gamer. First came out, loved it. Loved the first one. Second one, Brotherhood. And then we went to...
They just lost the plot with the storyline.
They've lost the plot. Black Flag, incredible.
Fantastic, yeah.
I enjoyed Valhalla, but it wasn't a groundbreaker.
I think the telltale sign always with a good game is you sort of, after you finish playing it 2-3 months later, you go, what was the storyline about? And if you go, I can't remember, then it's not like, you ask anybody who's played The Last of Us, they can tell you, and then
that's a game I'm going to play for sure now. I'm on Steam.
100%. Fantastic game. So, yeah, Assassin's Creed, I can't imagine that. I don't know. Are you going to play it too?
I probably will play this, to be honest, but I've started Code Vein. I'm still doing my last run through of Elden Ring, which I'm fucking enjoying so much. NG +6.
Just oh my word.
Wow.
In ready for Night Rain, because Night Rain's coming out in the not too distant future.
Night Rain.
Is it Night Rain? Is that what it's called?
Rain, yeah, correct.
So that's the
DLC? So it's cooperative in the Elden Ring universe. You and 2 other pals load in and basically run through what is in essence sort of an Apex kind of mini
ring closing atmosphere,
versing
mini
bosses. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Can't wait. Guy, you've still got to play Warhammer.
Yeah, I do have to play Space Marine 2. Well, I was keen to get some feedback from, I think, one of our episodes of letting me know, should I do Warhammer 2, Space Marine 2, or Monster Hunter? So I think I'm going to land on Space Marine 2. I think either way. Yeah, but Space Marine 2 has just been sat there for far too long, and we've got to do an episode about it.
And I feel like Warhammer... It's either open world with Monster Hunter from what I've seen, or you go Warhammer, which is a bit more linear
story.
Yeah, but still really good.
I kind of want that just for the change of pace from playing Avowed. I'm so sick of Avowed. I just want it to be done.
That didn't tickle fancies.
No, it's just a classic thing, and I think it's going to suffer from the same thing Assassin's Creed is going to suffer from. Shit story.
Yeah.
I don't care. The Avowed gameplay, fantastic. Really enjoyed the gameplay of it. Really enjoying it, but the storyline is so forgetful, so boring, so paint by numbers that I'm clicking through as quick as possible. It's frustrating.
Okay. Why are you persisting?
Just because the gameplay, and also there's that innate thing of going, I've put them out this hours, I want to see it through, I'm getting close to it. Although last night, just to sort of, and T, you'll roll your eyes at this and you'll probably tell me I need to get committed. So I'm like gearing up for the final mission. So I'm looking at all my weapons and my armor and all the rest of it, and I'm like, they're not max level, and I'm like, I got to get them there. So I need to collect a few more resources and stuff like that. But I've got my build set, and I've been collecting weapons and armor over the journey the whole way halfway through. So the first thing I got to do is I break down all the weapons and armor that I'm not going to use. And so I use all the resources for that, level up my items a bit more. Then I realize every time I level up one of these items, it costs 5K. I don't have enough money to do that. So then I go and find a few other bits of items to sell them off to make the money back to get that. I do that. Still don't max level all my armor and weapon pieces.
Fucking maths, bro.
Man, it like when you get down to the numbers of it, it's like it's quite sort of there's not a lot to it, but you know you kind of have to.
It's changing.
Yeah, who wants to sit there with a calculator going, okay, I need X more figs and
Committed
X more
gamers,
mushrooms
guy.
to fucking.
I need X amount of figs.
It's so dumb. Anyway, but I've now done it all. So I have no more weapons to sell. I have no more money to gain. I have no more missions to do, and I don't have max level weapons.
Fucking
And I'm
uninstall
really,
it, dude.
really unsatisfied
You're
by
done.
that.
Get
Like
rid.
my OCD was really like, are you fucking kidding me right
It's
now?
done.
Like shit.
It's finished. Uninstall it. Take a break.
Yeah, I'm going to play the final mission and then just throw the disc into the universe, I guess.
Ollie, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having
mate.
me, fellas.
Been a
This was
delight.
good. I'll be interested to know what your thoughts are
When
playing
we
it
give it a
yourselves
go.
and where you rank
Well,
it.
Oliver, if we do play this game, the way you'll find out is if you listen to the pod.
I look forward to it.
So is it not a first time listener, but first time on the pod, no time listener?
Yeah, he's made
You know?
it. He's got a mic in his hand. He hasn't even listened to the product.
Terrible. All our listeners are going to be like, "What? Where's my call up? Like the fuck?"
It's like rocking up to act in a Pepsi commercial with a Coke in your hand.
It's been a pleasure having you on, Ollie.
Thanks
Are
for
you
having
an
me, gents.
ambassador or not? Anyway. But most importantly, don't be an NPC.
And keep leveling up.
Thanks, everyone.